Welcome, foolish mortals, to another episode of the HitchHiking Host Show. I am your ghost host, Wes Troop, and tonight I'm being joined by two special guest ghost hosts, I guess you could say. Josh and Angie Taylor from Modern Mouse Radio. How are you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Okay.
I'm doing well, yes. I must say, the first time I've talked to you since this event, congratulations on the wedding.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're like, oh, yeah, it was just this little thing we did, you know. Yes, and we're going to talk more about that as the show goes on. As you all may notice, I've had some camera troubles. It wouldn't be the first time for this show. So we're just going to do pictures for this show. Josh and Angie, tell me a little bit well, I know a little bit about it, but tell everybody a little bit about Modern Mouse Radio, for those who don't know.
Modern Mouse Radio is, well, it started as a blog, and then it became Modern Mouse Radio, and we are going on, gosh, I don't know, like 83 regular episodes, and then we do a news show every other week. We've probably done about 50 of those. So we're over 100 episodes in. We've been around a little less than 3 years. And Modern Mouse Radio's ideals initially were to always showcase kind of the younger adult, but single and without children type of thing. And I mean, now we're married, as you said. So we kind of still, I think, fit that under that category of like without children. We're not the typical family of four traveling to any Disney park, and we try and fit as much humor as we can in. We try and do interesting shows. I know that we've done top tens like a lot of people. We also do Armchair Imagineers. Wes, you were actually on one of those.
I was
not too long ago.
I think about a year ago, I'd say.
Was it about a year? Time's going by.
Around that. Time flies. Yeah.
Time does fly. So we do Armchair Imagineers, where we come up with different ideas for the parks. We do debates. We try and keep it interesting and keep it different on every show. And then the blog is very kind of topical and depends on what's going on. And there's different days that we do different things, and we try and keep it lighthearted and fun for the most part. Which
is good, because I was going to talk about it a little later, but there seems to be a lot of negativity going around on the Twitter these days about certain subjects.
Yeah, and we try and show the brighter side. We try
exactly. That's good. That's what I try to do too. Sometimes, though, you just gotta log off and keep your. Go ahead.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, I mean, we are all going to be critical here and there. We all have our taste preferences, and we're all going to notice when things maybe aren't working right because we all go so often.
Right.
But when it comes down to it, we're Disney fans at heart, and so we're going to be positive. We're going to have that outlook on things.
Right.
Well, we're still going to go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No matter what they do. Right. That's why I laugh when people are like, they raised the price $2. I'm not going. I'm like, really? Really?
You're spending 100. Why not 102?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't. Whatever. So anyway, Angie, tell me everybody a little bit about the Modern Mouse Boutique.
Yeah. So Modern Mouse Boutique started because me and Josh went to Disneyland, and we had seen somebody wearing a pair of mouse ears that had sunflowers on them, and I was like, hey, I want those. I'm gonna make those for myself when I get home. And I made them, and they were a big hit, so I was like, I'm gonna sell these. So I went on Etsy. I set up a shop. Well, I already had a shop going, but I kind of changed it to fit more of that theme instead of what I had going on already, but it was still Disney. And then it just grew and grew. I had more and more mouse ear designs, and now it's kind of evolved into like the Disney bounding of mouse ears. So instead of having like a character on the ears, say you want Elsa ears, instead of having her face on the ears, I do fabrics and patterns and detailing that is just kind of reminiscent of Elsa, and you know right when you look at it that it's Elsa, but it doesn't necessarily scream, her face on it or anything like that. So yeah, I have tons of designs up, and they're all kind of like that. Just kind of like the call out to the character or the theme park or the ride or whatever.
Well, the great thing is we've gone from her starting it as kind of a side project at the end of 2014, and by January, it became her full-time job. And then, I mean, we were doing so well with it. By the time that we went on our trip to go to get married at Walt Disney World, it came down to this idea of, can we keep this sustainable enough to where I could quit my job and both of us go full-time with it? And then I kind of do Modern Mouse Radio and that full-time. And that month kind of proved it. I think over the course of 2 weeks or so, we made more money than I would have ever made like in 2 months.
Wow.
So yeah, so it was really amazing that these people just gravitated towards this product, and that now Angie and I both do it full-time from home. She does Modern Mouse Boutique full-time, and now I do half of my time spent with Modern Mouse Boutique and half my time on Modern Mouse Radio. And that's all we do now, which we love.
That's awesome. That's like the best thing that can happen, really, for people that where that's your dream, where you can just do what you love.
Right. And it's kind of that trade-off of, we're not making enough money to be able to, buy all the things that we want to buy, or whatever, but we're both able to stay home, and we're with our dog, and we're doing Disney stuff. So it's kind of that trade-off of, well, we're really happy. We're not rich, but we're getting by and we're happy doing it. So
yeah, I think that's great. Yeah, it's not like you're taking the money and booking vacations every week. Hey, I could go again.
That'd be nice.
It would.
Hopefully, that's our goal for 2016.
Yeah.
Hey, you never know. Maybe one day it'll be the Modern Mouse Boutique instead of Anna and Elsa's Boutique.
Maybe.
In downtown Disney.
Oh, that'd be great.
You never know. But yeah, I see tons of people on Instagram with the ears, and it's awesome. I make sure to I try to like each one on the Instagram. So definitely we'll give the links later to check those out. The Chewbacca ears I loved. The R2D2 ones, that might be going back a little bit, but I'm not sure what the latest styles are. But yeah, I'm a fan of those, and I did buy something from the boutique around Christmas time, the Anna and Elsa jewelry box, hand painted by Angie. We'll put a picture up on the show. It's awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah, definitely worth the price. I said I was going to give it away as a Christmas present, but I couldn't when I saw it. So I just keep my pins in there now. Were you guys in Disney World last month or
we
April?
were there. We flew down April 22nd, and we stayed through the 30th. So we were there just a little bit over a week.
That is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about, because I haven't really heard much about what all goes into a wedding in Disney World. So tell me a little bit about what happened.
They're pretty easy to work with, to be honest with you, because if you are someone who books a wedding outside of Disney, or you're not doing a vacation package for any way, you have to figure out where to get your venue, where to get your food, where to basically get everything. You're basically shopping a la carte for everything. And Disney allowed us to choose from 3 packages. Either, I won't go over like the main details, but there was a least expensive, moderate, and then most expensive. And we chose the least expensive.
I don't blame you.
It would have been very expensive had we gone any higher. But we wanted it to be small. We wanted it to be just our parents and be real easygoing, and we didn't want to draw a lot of attention. So we paid $2,500 for the initial ceremony, and what you get with that is,
and it's called the memories package.
Your memories package. So what you get with the memories package is your location, which you can choose from 3, either the Polynesian beach, you can get the marina at the Grand Floridian, or you can get like a balcony kind of in the woods at the Wilderness Lodge.
Oh wow, that's actually not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, they were very nice locations, all 3, and we ended up choosing because Angie's dress had such a long, I mean, it was huge. And so we decided to go with the beach because, I mean, the beach.
That's what I would have picked. Yeah, I love the Polynesian.
I do too. And so with that, at the Polynesian, you get the ceremony. You get about 20 minutes, to do your thing. And
you didn't have to speed up the reference. Hurry up.
Yeah.
We're on the clock here, buddy.
Well, we were lucky. We actually got Angie's father, who had never done this before. We asked him if he would marry us. And he said yes, luckily.
Yeah, you just go online and you can get like a certificate to be you become ordained online, and then you get a certificate and all that good stuff in the mail.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so anybody can do it. So next time your friends want to get married, Wes, you can say
yeah, because we know it won't be me.
So we did that, had the whole ceremony, and then along with that $2,500, it also got us an in-room celebration, which came with like candles, and we got like some free lotion, or not free, I guess, because we paid $2,500, but we got lotions with it, and some body wash and stuff like that. Actually really nice. The Disney like H2O brand, which if you go online, I think it's like $30 a bottle for their shampoo and body lotions. Yeah, so we got that, and then we got a few other things to go along with it, like a violinist that came out and they could play whatever music you wanted them to. And of course, we played Disney music through the whole thing.
Right.
Our ceremony ended with the Main Street Electrical Parade music.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then we also got a photographer with it. However, we opted out of a photographer and got our own, because the photographer, I think, stayed with you for an hour. Mm-hmm. And we got our own photographer for 3 hours. For a lot less than what it would have cost to get the Disney photographer for 3 hours.
Would they hand you one of those cards every time they took a picture?
No.
Here you go.
No, so the Disney photographer would have taken pictures for an hour, and then if you would have gotten a disc for all of your pictures that you got within that hour, how much was it? $800?
It was $700.
$700 for all the pictures. So the guy that we ended up hiring outside of it was about, he was a little less than $500 for 3 hours, and then we got all of the pictures to go along with it.
Yeah, included in that price.
So sounds like a better deal to me.
Yeah, absolutely. So we figured the $3,000 for that one day was kind of worth it. And we picked the Polynesian because we, A, wanted to get married there, but B, the Kona Cafe is kind of, I feel like it's like a hidden gem. I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily eat there. But it's my favorite restaurant on property. I think the food there is outstanding. And so it was kind of just like a hop, skip, and jump away from where we got married to that restaurant inside the hotel. So that was another kind of part of it. And that didn't come with the package. That was, the package itself was for the ceremony and for the in-room celebration only. And so we had to pay for dinner ourselves, although we had family and it was our wedding day. So luckily, it wasn't on us. But yeah, that kind of sums it up. There's the other packages that you can get if you want to go up one. The next step up is I forget what it's called.
It's the
Escape. It's $5,000 to start with, but you can get up to 20 people, including the bride and groom there, and then I believe that also comes with a reception.
Yes.
Which ours did not. So for the extra $2,500, you get a reception, as well as more people.
And you can also add on more options for it too. Like our package, you couldn't add on like I don't know. I'm trying to think of something you could add on like
For ours?
like yeah, like you couldn't add on like Mickey and Minnie coming to your wedding.
No.
I don't know if you can add
Yeah.
that onto the escape one necessarily, that specific thing.
You can.
You can. Okay, and then there's the one up from that is wishes.
Which is the big one, which is like 10,000.
It starts at 10,000.
Wow.
That's 10,000. And there's so many options. I will tell you, so our not our wedding, we had a wedding coordinator, but we also had a travel agent who's Amanda Mann. She's done our travel agent stuff for this vacation, but she's also been a sponsor for Modern Mouse Radio for a couple of years now, and wonderful person to work with. But she talked about when she got married at Walt Disney World, they gave her all these options because she did go with the wishes package. And they gave her the option for like a confetti cannon, which is amazing. And it sounds super cool. But for this one blast of confetti shooting out of this cannon, it was $850.
Oh, yeah. Be sure not to invite like drunk Uncle Marty or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, what's this?
Well, there goes our confetti cannon.
Yeah, there goes the 850.
Yeah.
Another thing that you can add on to any of the 3 packages is they call it a bridal portrait session. Even though it's for the bride and groom. It kind of sounds like it's just for the bridal. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's just for them too. No other guests get to come. And you actually just basically get to pick. They have options for resorts, but most people pick the theme parks. So you can pick as many as you want, I guess, as many as you're willing to pay for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So ours, we picked Epcot and it was $900. I think if you pick Magic Kingdom, it's like $1,700.
It's
Wow.
almost double.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, the experience alone was worth the amount of money that we spent. We got an hour to take pictures, and we chose Epcot World Showcase, and they picked us up at our hotel bright and early in the morning, which was awful. But they said when they picked us up, they said, okay, we're going to do World Showcase. What 3 countries do you want to go to? And we chose Canada, France, and Morocco for our pictures. And then we said, well, Epcot's also not that far of a drive. It's like 10 minutes or so. They said, well, it would be 10 minutes if we were going in the front entrance, but we're actually going through the cast member entrance.
Ah.
And then that opened up a whole new excitement door for us because we went backstage through almost all of World Showcase, from test track almost all the way back to the Imagination Pavilion.
Oh, wow.
And we got to see all of this stuff that nobody should see.
Yeah, we were
Right.
like pointing to everything. We're like, oh, look, like, what's that?
And then
Did you see any characters with their heads off?
no, I asked, I said, am I going to find like a robotic dream finder that's like half broken?
Oh!
And they said, no, you won't see that here. But we saw a lot of greenhouses because it was just the time for the garden.
Yeah.
So we ended up seeing a lot of greenhouses, and actually we saw
There was a lot of like you could tell they were changing out a lot of booths and stuff because there were a lot of props just kind of like in like half of like building facades just kind of laying out on the lawn.
Oh, okay.
food and wine stuff just like shoved into a corner.
Yeah,
You know?
it was weird.
It was
Stay there for
definitely
the wall.
It
but-
kind of looked like when you have like someone has a yard sale and they just put like blankets out and put all this stuff out on their lawn.
and then
That is odd. You
It
would
was-
think it was really organized.
no, it's not that organized. But then
Wow.
also it was like a weird graveyard of like
Yeah.
stuff. But they use it every year. And then the other part of it was because there's nobody at Epcot except for a couple of cast members that were there.
Yeah, because we went before it opened.
Yeah.
Then we drove the car that we were in. We were in like a SUV, mind you.
Mhm.
we drove that out onto the promenade and drove around World Showcase from place to place.
Yeah,
So,
it's really cool.
Totally different and totally cool. The people that were doing Agent P's, I forget what it's called.
The thing where you go around and
yeah, if you get the little cell phone, the flip phone.
Mm-hmm.
There was a person testing all of the robotics for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and there were just people like washing windows, washing handrails, hosing stuff down.
Yeah, so when they do say that, like the nighttime crew works all the way up until the park opens, that's real, because like we were there all the way up until park opening basically, and we saw people washing the street, at 7:30 a.m.
Which was really fun to drag my already like heavier than me dress through all the water.
I bet.
So, in the end, I think we ended up spending with the photographer that we got from outside, as well as the wedding itself and the portrait session. We ended up spending just under $4,000 for that, and that we did buy a suit, and she bought her dress.
Yeah.
So that was a little more expensive there. But in total, we spent less than $10,000 on our wedding. And we looked up what the average wedding is in America these days, and it's like 30,000.
Yeah, it's about.
Oh man,
it was about 30,000 like 2 years ago. So
we were way less than that, and we had a really good time with a very select few people. We did a lot of experiences that we would have not done had it not been our wedding. Right. Angie and my mom and her mom went to go get a spa treatment and get their nails done, all that stuff. We also went to go see Yeehaw Bob the night that we got married. That was kind of like our big after party reception type of thing. Like we had our dinner. Cool, let's go see Yeehaw Bob play at Port Orleans, which is where we were staying.
And have like a few drinks and wind down.
Yeah.
We just like did some extra things. Yeah, that it definitely, with a bigger group of people, got a little bit more complicated than probably we would have liked to have had. But then we also got at the end a couple of days where it was just Angie and I, kind of as a honeymoon, quote unquote. And that was really nice. We had a great time with just the two of us kind of wandering from park to park.
Yeah, and we did what a lot of people tend to do on destination weddings, especially something like Disney, where maybe not everyone is, close to Florida, and it takes a lot of money to travel and fly and stay in a Disney hotel and all that stuff. Where instead of having your only wedding celebration at the destination, you actually bring the celebration home and kind of have an at-home reception. So we did that. And I know a lot of people do that, and a lot of people were wondering about that and wanting to know, like, what do you do if not everyone wants to come? Well, that's what you do.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And for us, it just made it a lot simpler. It made it, because her family lives for the most part in Massachusetts. My family, for the most part, lives in Colorado. So either way, you were going to not appease either side.
Right.
And so we decided just to not appease any of them. But then go back to Massachusetts and have a wedding reception, and then end up in Colorado and have a wedding reception as well, which were much more low-key than a normal reception would have been, which is kind of what we wanted to begin with. We weren't looking to have everybody come up and give us like tons of hugs and well wishes. We were looking for a time where we could kind of have like a backyard barbecue.
Yeah.
And just hang out. So it's kind of what we did.
That's cool. Yeah. So, when was the last time you guys were in Disney World? Before that, yeah.
Well, this was our first time going together. My last time, I think, was 2011, I want to say, and Josh was a lot longer ago.
Oh wow!
I think mine might have been like 2010, 2011.
Oh, okay.
So it might have been around the same time. I've been a Disneylander for a while now. I've just been so on top of and excited about Disneyland.
Right.
And for us being in Colorado, the price difference for flights is about $100 less a person to go to California.
Yeah.
So it just kind of makes more sense in that.
Right. So there had to be some new stuff there. I know of quite a few things that were new since then. What did you guys think of some of the new rides?
Well, we went to Magic Kingdom our first day that we were there. Well, our first day that we were there, we went to Animal Kingdom, but we were only there for a few hours. We ended up, no, because we did go back to Animal Kingdom for a full day.
Oh yeah,
it's a day and a half park. Okay.
Oh wow.
But we ended up that evening at Trader Sam's.
Oh, cool.
The Grog Grotto, and we've been to both Trader Sam's at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you went to Trader Sam's at Disneyland. I don't think you've been to the new one, right?
No, I haven't. Yeah, I was there with Jeff Heimbuck a few weeks ago. Name dropping.
Yeah, right. So Trader Sam's at Disneyland is very compact. They have enough seating inside for a few people, and then a lot of seating outside. If you can't get inside the bar. And we got to the Grog Grotto about a week after it opened, maybe 2 weeks after it opened, but it had not had its official opening yet.
Oh, cool.
So I'm not sure if it's gotten busier since then or not. But we, instead of what they do at Disneyland, where you pretty much like have to walk up to the bar, and if you can't find a seat, then that's your problem.
Yeah.
At Disney World, you walk in and they take your name and they tell you how long it could be to get seated inside. If not, you can sit outside. And they told us it would be like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And it was actually probably about 15 to 20 minutes. And we sat inside. There were 6 of us at the time. And there was not seating for 6 people at one table. So we had to wait a little bit. But not very long. I would probably say we only waited like 5-10 minutes. I mean, we hadn't even ordered our drinks yet before we ended up being able to sit all together. And we sat there for probably like 2 hours. And I would say, maybe like 10 more people came in the bar for that 2 hour time. There wasn't a whole lot of people. And Trader Sam's was kind of a secret at that point, I felt like. But it was nice. There was not a whole lot of bar space for the bartenders like there is at Trader Sam's at Disneyland. I feel like they have more space than the people sitting at the bar do. But the seating area was so nice. I mean, there was this big surfboard in the middle that we got to take up half of, and it was so nice and open and easy to sit in. I actually really prefer the Trader Sam's now at Disney World than at Disneyland, because I think so many people know about it at Disneyland.
Yeah, it's really become a hangout.
It is, and especially for locals. It's definitely for locals. And I don't think that locals gravitate towards Disney World as much in Orlando. So it's definitely a place that's kind of a secret. And if you know about it at Disney World, at the Polynesian Beach, then you go there. I would definitely say it's worth it. But that was one of the new things that we checked out. And then we did go to the Magic Kingdom. The next day, we got to see New Fantasyland, which neither of us had seen yet.
Right.
And are completely in love with it.
Yeah, I think it's really cool.
I think it's great. We went to go eat lunch at the Be Our Guest restaurant.
Yeah.
We weren't really high on that.
Yeah, we weren't very impressed. I think the hype was built up so much.
Right.
Maybe it's just lunch isn't as good as dinner, or I don't know.
I've heard both. I've heard some people say it's good and some people are like, eh.
Yeah, it just has you really hope when you go into the ballroom or the West Wing or whatever that you're kind of in this ambiance and that's it. But I really felt like you were in this ambiance, but there's so many people in all of these rooms that it still feels like you're at the Pop Century cafeteria.
Wow.
Yeah, it felt like the Pop Century cafeteria, but decorated like the Beast Castle in Pop Century.
That's what you get. Yeah. What else did we see that's new? That really, Animal Kingdom, there was nothing new that we checked out there.
No, nothing really. What about the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train?
Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, we got to ride twice. Once we rode it by ourselves. We ended up going, the first night that we were there, everybody kind of bailed on us, and it was like, okay, fine. From 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. or whatever until the park closed at midnight, we just decided let's make sure that it's just you and I. Let's do the things that we want to do and get them done. And so many people had said the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train line, the queue, was actually kind of fun. So we waited in line, and it wasn't too long. We waited maybe like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
That's about what I've seen it when I was there.
Yeah.
Like a steady 40 minutes. Yeah.
And especially at like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, when a lot of the smaller children have gone home. And I know a lot of people complain about Seven Dwarfs Mine Train not being overly thrilling, but I would actually prefer it to be less thrilling. And I really wish that it would be more of the dark ride.
Oh, I totally agree.
Yeah, the audio animatronics blew me away. Like, I was completely amazed. I was like, this is how I want to feel when I experience something new. It was completely
right.
So people who go to Walt Disney World and have never been to Disneyland, let me explain to you something. Radiator Springs Racers isn't like racing the whole time. It's a good, I don't know, you've been on it, Wes. What would you say? It's like a good 4 or 5 minutes of dark ride.
Oh, definitely. And it's some of the most impressive effects I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's absolutely that. And then you get like that great 2 minutes of speed, you know, at the end, like Test Track.
Yeah.
But that dark ride is so much better than Test Track. And I really wish that that's what they would have done here with the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, where they would have given you more dark ride than they would have roller coaster.
Almost like putting the old Snow White ride, giving it an update, and then have the mine at the end.
Right. I would have totally gone for that. That was awesome. Actually, neither of us had been on, even at Disneyland. Last time around, it was closed. We had not.
You guys had that problem too.
Yeah, we had not been on the Little Mermaid attraction.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's 2 different names of both parks. So I'll just say that.
Little Mermaid ride something.
But we were really impressed with its special effects. And
yeah, we had to do it again because I was like, oh my God, I feel like I haven't taken everything in.
Right.
I love that it has like these new age special effects with the video and things, but it also has this really old school feel.
Yeah, like Pinocchio and stuff like that.
Yeah, and all the fish just kind of move back and forth. You know, they don't really have this huge animatronic feel, but that's okay. I like that. And then we did Storybook Circus, which is cool. We got to ride Dumbo at night. We rode Barnstormer.
Which is like a little step down from the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Right.
30 seconds or whatever.
But I mean, whatever. Like,
yeah, Josh held onto his hat, and I was like, you don't need to do that.
Hold on to your butts.
And then we got to go to Hollywood Studios just as they were pretty much finishing taking down the hat.
Oh, wow.
So they still had some of the wall up. So they still had some of the wall up. Construction wall up, but for the most part, when you walked into the park, you just saw the Great Movie Ride, and you just saw Grauman's Theater, which was cool. And I wish that when we went, you know, was maybe like 5 years from now, when I feel like Hollywood Studios will be like a complete park again.
Oh, I hope so.
But we were there for a half a day. That's a half day park.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
And we had a good time. Like, it wasn't anything super crazy, but it was good.
Yeah. We mainly decided to go there because Josh wanted to meet Baymax, and by the time we got there, he was done for the day.
I had heard he was like he can last like 45 minutes and then he's done.
Well, he ends up coming out like periodically between like noon and 4 p.m.
Oh, okay.
And we got there at like 4 p.m. because they're like, we don't need to go to Hollywood Studios early. But apparently we did.
Because there's only like 5 rides.
yeah, we got them all in pretty much.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, you easily can.
Right. So, I don't know. That was a good time. All in all, our vacation, I wouldn't take anything back. I think we did everything perfectly. We had an amazing time. We did things by ourselves, just Angie and I. We did things as a full family. We did stuff we wouldn't do ever. Like I said, the spa treatment. We also went out for afternoon tea at the Grand Floridian.
With Alice?
No, not with Alice. This is like straight up English afternoon tea. You're going to spend anywhere between $30 and $50 on
my.
tea, some cheese, and some grapes.
Well, it's Disney after all.
And you're gonna sit there and eat it for like 2 hours.
Yeah, they definitely elongate that out.
Do you think it was worth it?
It was worth it for the experience and for the moment. I mean, my parents really wanted to, even though it wasn't a formal wedding, we didn't have all these people coming, and we didn't even have a rehearsal. They still wanted to do like a rehearsal dinner, which is formal for the groom and his parents to host a reception dinner. So they decided to do afternoon tea. That was what they decided to do for everybody. And then they also decided to buy a bottle of champagne at dinner, which, I mean, I would have never done again. And then I ended up buying a cake for everybody. Not like a huge wedding cake, but just like a little sheet cake, since there was only 8 of us.
Right.
For that. And I put, because we were eating at the Polynesian, I put Stitch on it.
Oh, nice.
And that was kind of our informal wedding cake. But that was like $50 or $60. So that was something I would never do again.
Yeah.
You know? But it was a good time. And we added all these extra things thinking that, we'll never do this again. So why don't we just do it in this big celebration? We did the Magic Kingdom Tomorrowland Terrace fireworks.
Oh, that's cool. How was that?
It's again something I would never do again. It's
right.
cool. It's cool because you don't have to fight crowds.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's the one reason I wanted it, because I didn't want to have to look for a spot for all 8 of us to stand.
And be blocked by a tree like I was last time.
But
yeah, the food itself wasn't amazing. It was all right.
Yeah,
it was more. Yeah, it was more having a seat.
Yep.
Was it like they took dessert cups out of the fridge?
It was totally.
Here's your chocolate pudding.
I mean, you joke about it, but it's true. It seemed like
prepackaged,
like that, or like prepackaged.
Oops, I forgot to take off the Jello wrapper. Sorry.
Yeah. The best part of that is because you're at the Tomorrowland Terrace, and when Tinkerbell flies at the beginning of the fireworks, she flies from the castle to the Tomorrowland Terrace. So it's like this giant fairy is shooting straight at you, and then she like lands right on the second floor of the Tomorrowland Terrace.
That's cool.
So that was kind of cool. That was probably the best part. And then you're not only going to see the fireworks, you're there for, right now is the Main Street Electrical Parade, and the projection show as well. So
okay. That's cool.
Yeah. So that was kind of our trip in a nutshell.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you guys had a good time.
We had a great time.
I would hope so. There was one thing a couple things, but what did you guys think of the Magic Bands?
Oh, I really liked them. At first I lost mine. So
oh no.
Yeah, I had put it like on my bag. Well, I put it in my bag or on my bag, and then when I picked my bag up, it fell out. And it fell out on the floor at Josh's parents' house, and I didn't realize it. So I was really worried, but when we got there, they ended up just giving me a replacement one for free. And then the same thing ended up happening to Josh later on in the trip, and they just gave him another one for free.
Wow.
Yeah, but I really liked them. I mean, we pretty much used them anytime we could, and we had cash on us just for some stuff. And we had gotten a lot of gift cards since it was our wedding trip. But for the most part, yeah, it was like, hey, just use the Magic Band because it's easy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Did you have any other problems with them, like technically wise, getting in or setting up a fast pass or anything like that?
Nope. The only problem we had with fast passes themselves were like when a ride was shut down and they just had to get a new one. But yeah, no, they worked for everything that we used them for.
Yeah, I think they're getting the kinks out now. I didn't have one problem with it, and I was sort of surprised. I was expecting to have at least 1 or 2 problems, but yeah, I was more hoping it wouldn't be getting into my hotel room.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, I got in the first night. It worked. But yeah, I think they're neat.
Yeah.
I think the only problem is knowing ahead of time how busy it's going to be and what fast passes you need.
Yeah, one of the things with that, like you said, being busy.
Yeah.
There were so many people in front of us in lines to get like in the parks and stuff that didn't know how to scan their Magic Band on the Mickey, and it's like,
oh, yeah, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's like, didn't you just see the 50 other people in front of you do it? Like, it's not that hard. Like, Mickey to Mickey, like,
yeah, exactly.
Child can do it.
It is. I will say this: we are, because the three of us are younger, and we get it.
Yeah.
People that are older that have for decades gone to a Disney park, handed a ticket.
Oh yeah.
Gotten the ticket back, whatever. I understand that they are confused or whatever, but on Disney's side, and this is my one complaint about Magic Bands on Disney's side, is I don't feel like they inform guests, especially guests who are unfamiliar with technology, aka old people. Let's be honest.
Wow.
I'm just stating, like,
there goes my old people audience.
A lot of people that were, a lot of people that were retirees, that type of age, were the people that were holding up the line.
But just like watch everybody in front of you. That's what I always do if I'm like, oh, what do I do in this situation?
Right.
I just watch everyone else and I'm like, oh, that like is something I can do and it's fine. But when you get up and you're just like, meh. Yeah. And then they're like, Mickey to Mickey, and then put your finger in the thing. And then they like put their finger in the thing, and it's like, no.
They Mickey. Put their finger on the Mickey. No.
Yeah. But yeah, that was probably the only complaint I had about Magic Bands. But personally, I liked the Magic Bands.
Yeah. One of the I was gonna say with the back to the not sure of how it's gonna be with setting up your fast passes. The only thing, like with Disneyland, you're allowed your 3 and it's still the paper fast passes. But like the first time I went there last year, which was actually the second time, but anyway, I would have never guessed Star Tours would have a 60-minute wait. So I would never have booked Star Tours as one of my 3 fast passes.
Yeah. That happened to us. Yeah, like we didn't know what to pick for some stuff because we were like, this has never had more than like a 20-minute wait. So why are we getting this?
Yeah, especially in Epcot, because it's like, why would you need one for Journey to Imagination?
Right.
Or Captain EO, if that was even still playing.
It wasn't at that time, but what do we have fast passes for?
We had the Seas with Nemo and Friends, and it was just a walk on anyway.
That was definitely unnecessary.
But it was like, it gave you 3 options, so we were like, we want to pick something. Because...
Right, yeah, I think I picked Spaceship Earth, and it actually had like a 40-minute wait.
Wow.
I'm like, this is insane. Do you think it adds time onto the normal ride wait times with having it?
I totally think it does, especially during the summer, like peak months. I would say that rides that you would see maximum ever a 5-minute wait are hitting 20-minute waits.
Right. I saw Haunted Mansion at like 45 on a Monday afternoon, and Pirates was like 60. And I'm like, what is this?
we saw Haunted Mansion at like an hour-long wait.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I never saw it that long in Disney World before.
No.
So, yeah, I think it's definitely adding on. And I think with those rides, they're rides that families can ride together. So, like, if you're going with, like, 6 or 8 people, and you're going with grandparents and stuff, well, what rides can we all ride together? So they pick Pirates and Haunted Mansion.
Right, and they skip out on Space Mountain. And
right,
stuff like
yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully they can figure out a way to get it all back to normal.
The thing that was great, though, was all of the kiosks around the park, so you don't have to go to Haunted Mansion to get a Haunted Mansion Fast Pass.
Right.
So the nice thing was we ended up, like, as we used our 3, we would figure out a ride that we knew wouldn't really have a long wait anyway, maybe a 15-minute wait at max, get the fast pass for that for right now.
As we were walking to it.
And then just get on the ride. So that's why we rode the Barnstormer. It wasn't because I was so excited for the thrill factor of it. But
I hope not.
But like, we're walking towards it. We're in Fantasyland, and they're like, well, you could get on Barnstormer right now if you wanted to. And it was like, okay, done. And as soon as you get off that ride, then you pick up the next fast pass or whatever. So if you do it right, you could walk from place to place, picking up fast passes as you get to that ride, and then not have to hopefully wait in that line. If you do it that way, I mean, you can obviously pick up your, fourth fast pass for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and wait in a 20 minute line. But we opted for just like, okay, we'll pick Barnstormer and Winnie the Pooh and whatever other like 5-minute wait there was or 10-minute wait there was, because then we didn't have to wait at all for any of them.
Right. Yeah, that's a smart idea. And just note, when you're done with your 3, that doesn't mean every ride will be available. For you listeners out there, don't think you're going to get on, Splash Mountain in 5 minutes.
Right, no. The other thing that I didn't bring this up before, we were there just as part of the hub was opening up.
Yeah.
The new hub. And I have to say, it was one of the things, and Angie will attest to this for me, like a week, 2 weeks before it, I was more excited for the hub than I was for like any attraction.
Oh,
really?
We sat in the grass.
I know, we didn't sit in the grass. But
something to look forward to for the next trip.
But I will tell you that it's so open and so peaceful. If you are trying to get away from crowds, which there are always crowds at Magic Kingdom. I mean, there's more crowds at Magic Kingdom than at Disneyland, I feel like. But if you're trying
probably about the same, maybe a little more Magic Kingdom. Yeah,
maybe. If you're trying to get away from crowds, hanging out in the hub, like in the grassy areas where the fountains are, will be your moment of zen for the day. Yeah. I can guarantee you. And there were enough great picture spots, and I brought my camera, and I was so excited to be. I just bought a brand new camera that was like super nice, so I was excited to take a bunch of pictures. And I took more pictures, I think, around the hub than of anywhere else in the park.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was wondering how it looks.
Yeah, and I think as they open it up with the new turrets on either side, they get the rest of the hub with the greenery all done. I think it's going to be amazing. There was obviously still construction going on when I was there, but even, half the hub was open. It was amazing. So to see the full hub open with the full turrets and everything, making the castle even bigger than it is.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be cool. I really am excited for days where I can go down there and at 2 p.m. just sit in the grass. It's fake grass. It's turf, mind you.
Oh, really?
So you sit in the AstroTurf and
get little black pebbles in your shoes.
Right. And then picnic out with a sandwich or something.
Read a
book and just hang out.
Yeah, I don't think I could ever read a book while I'm in the Magic Kingdom.
If I was a local, I would.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If I had a season pass, then that would be a different story.
Right.
But yeah. Well, that sounds great. I'm glad you guys had a good time. So, some interesting some big news that broke this week. We're going to talk a little bit about the news. We got an update on it seems like we haven't had an update in a long time for this. The Frozen attraction that has become quite the stir online. Positive and negative, mostly negative if you're on my followers' Twitters. So it's going to be called Frozen Ever After, which I thought was sort of an odd name. I'm going to go down a little bit of the description of the ride. Imagineer Kathy Mangum is in charge of the project, and she previously was responsible for overseeing big Disney projects, including Cars Land at Disneyland. And we all know how that looks, so that's something to get excited about. The new ride will follow the same path as the Maelstrom, and the scenes will be frozenized. The ride will take place in Arendelle in summer. And I actually have that written there. The queue will include Wandering Oaken's trading post, complete with a steamy sauna. Once the ride begins, you'll see Olaf and Sven preparing for a winter festival, which is odd because it's summer, but whatever. The guests then encounter the trolls. I'm assuming the rock trolls and not the back over the falls trolls, although that would be interesting.
Back now.
What am I doing in this ride? Telling of how Anna and Kristoff met. After that will be a scene that features Anna, Kristoff, Sven, and Olaf ice skating. Then we finally get the big reveal of Elsa singing Let It Go on the balcony of her ice castle. Marshmallow and the Snow G's from the Frozen Fever short will appear, sending guests down into the finale for fireworks and a final moment with the characters. The audio animatronics will feature the projected face technology similar to the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and the new Hatbox Ghost in Disneyland's Haunted Mansion, which is awesome, by the way. Frozen Ever After is set to open in 2016. So I would like to hear your input about the Frozen ride.
Well, I'm wondering if it's gonna go backwards, like the Maelstrom one did.
I'm wondering that too. It sounds like it might.
Yeah.
And like where the polar bears were, that might be where like the Marshmallow and the Snow G guys might be.
Yeah.
But I don't know why you would go backwards.
Yeah.
Why not?
I made a joke before. I said like they'll have Hans there and he'll betray you and you go backwards.
It'd be good.
It would.
I feel like how long of a ride was Maelstrom? Because I've always thought it was so short, but maybe I'm just remembering.
It's not very long. I know there were a few scenes on the sides of like, you know, the Vikings and all that. And then before you knew it, the trolls were there. Which is I'm assuming where Elsa's ice castle is going to be. If then it sends you backwards because you went backwards right after the trolls. So I don't know. I don't really know. It's not really not that long. And then you go backwards, and then you see the other troll tree thing comes out and sends you down forward into the oil rig. So yeah, if it's this, they're using the same building and track. So yeah, it might not be that long of a ride.
So the other part of the story that you did not bring up, mind you. I know.
There's always two sides.
Bad reporting here. No, you're fine. So the other side of this, and I don't know if you know about it, the building that is being built between Norway and Mexico, that is supposed to be this giant building that's going to be a meet and greet for Anna and Elsa,
right? Yeah,
as well as a bathrooms, which we've
nicknamed
the Frozen latrines.
Yeah. I hope they have a sign that says "Let it go."
Yeah, right. This building is also supposed to be host to artifacts and architecture of Norwegian background. So as they are adding more Frozen, it seems like they're also adding more Norway.
Well, that's a good thing.
Right. So I've always felt like as long as they stay true to Norway and they don't give in to 100% Frozen, you know, if they can go 50-50 and give it partially Frozen and get kids excited about going to this attraction and going to the World Showcase, which a lot of people have said for I don't know how many years that children just don't love Epcot.
I truly agree with that. When I was 8 years old, I wanted like nothing to do with World Showcase.
Yeah, so now kids have a reason to go to World Showcase. And while they're there, they can, while standing in line to meet Anna and Elsa, similar to how Expedition Everest is, their queue, you can see all of these artifacts from Norway. You can see what Norwegian culture is all about. And hopefully Frozen is just a way to teach about world culture more than it is to eventually turn that entire country into Arendelle.
and promote a second movie.
Right, and that's hopefully been my feeling inside my gut for a long time, is that they are building this Frozen attraction to promote world culture and not to just promote Frozen.
Right. And we said on Facebook about all the, the negative stuff. And I think people really turned against Frozen when this came out about replacing the Maelstrom. Because we said, if it was anywhere else, do you really think it would be this bad? Because I think you just expect it now. I don't know why everyone's surprised when another Frozen party pops up.
My biggest complaint is that Frozen was such a huge hit that whatever movie came after it was not going to be. It could have been a hit, but it wouldn't have mattered. And Big Hero 6, I thought, was such a great film, and I thought they did such a great job with all those characters, and they were so developed. And I'm like, oh, they could do so much with Big Hero 6.
They could have, yeah.
But they've just decided to opt out of it and do more Frozen instead.
If Big Hero 6, I think, had made the money Frozen did, we'd see a lot more Big Hero 6. But, I mean, what were the chances of that, really?
Yeah, not a whole lot. And it did do very well at the box office. But if Frozen hadn't come before it, it would be more present in the parks. But Frozen was such a huge hit that all of their attention is on that.
Oh, yeah. And it's really, when I was in Disney, it was less in Disneyland when I went a few weeks ago. But when I was in Disney World in November, I think I might have seen 2 other dresses that weren't Elsa or Anna on little girls.
Yeah.
I'm like, obviously there's still money to be made here, and they're taking every advantage of taking everyone's dollar.
Yeah, that's how it was when we were in Disneyland too. I think the only time we heard the song Let It Go was an instrumental version in Downtown Disney.
Yeah. If you go to find it, you'll find it. But I heard Be Our Guest and like Under the Sea a lot more than Let It Go. So I don't understand where everyone says it's at every turn.
No.
Don't go into the sing-along, You have a choice. So before we end the show, I know some podcasts like to do word association. I have my own little... for those who have visited both coasts, Disneyland and Walt Disney World, I like to play a little game, which I'm actually going to be incorporating into a series soon called Versus or something like that.
Ooh.
Where I take a look at both sides of the coasts and say which one's better.
Also, side note, the 3 of us have been there, and like our co-host for Modern Mouse Radio, Keith, he has been to both coasts, but it's amazing to learn throughout the Disney group of people that are very, participatory online, how many people don't go to both coasts. Or like, if you live on the East Coast, you go to Disney World, you've never been anywhere else, not even to Paris. And then if you've gone to Disneyland on the West Coast and you live in the West Coast, you don't even go to Japan or Disney World or anything. It's pretty astounding how many people have not been to both.
And I feel if you are truly a fan like we are, you have to go to both.
Absolutely. It's a totally different experience.
Yeah, you're really missing out, because you'll find rides that you can't ride at other places that you might really like, or a better version of a ride, which is what I found a lot with Disneyland. I'm like, this is like, I like a lot more of these than Magic Kingdom, and I feel horrible for saying that. But yeah, so first one, Space Mountain.
Disneyland.
Easily Disneyland.
Hands down.
Easily. Yeah. I went on the first time last year because it was closed back in 2005 when I was there once, and the first time, and I thought, this is so smooth. This is such a smooth ride. And then I went back on the one in Florida, and I'm like, this ride is gonna kill me. It was so different.
We actually did not ride it while we were at Walt Disney World.
Yeah, we were like, why?
Knowing that we'll actually be at the D23 Expo in August. So knowing that we'll be back at Disneyland in August, we're like, we don't need to ride this. We'll ride the better version of it in August at Disneyland, because it is. I mean, it's so smooth. The updates that they did are amazing.
Yeah, the graphics when you're going through, like you see like the
Right.
Andromeda Galaxy or whatever, you know, and the
Yeah,
music. I love the music when you go through.
And when we went, so I went around the same time you did for the first time. Although
Yeah.
it was like the 8th time for me. So I'm sorry about that. But I went with a friend of mine, and we're both like huge music fans. And it was about the same time too that The Incredibles came out.
Yeah.
So there was a marching band. The Disneyland marching band was playing the music from The Incredibles. And then we went on Space Mountain, and I was just like, this is kind of like the same style of music, like this spy movie.
It is sort of the same.
It is sort of like that same Incredibles music, and I love that. It like doesn't fit Space Mountain at all because it's not space.
Yeah, it's not like the song where you come in Disney World, bing, bing.
Right. But it's just so fun. Like that music plus that ride just makes it so fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely Disneyland for that one. There goes a spoiler for my series.
Yeah, right.
This one I think is going to be a pretty easy one. Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's Disneyland for me.
I didn't get to go on it when we went to Disneyland.
Oh no!
Yeah,
it's Disneyland for me too. The whole, it's basically the same. In the middle part, you know, you get the We Once the Redhead and all that stuff, but it's so much longer in the beginning.
Right.
When you go past Grandpa on the porch and
right, being able to go through the bayou and then just getting like Walt Disney's feel from it. I mean, it was one of the last things he worked on, and being able to like, I always go back to like this interview when he's talking about like Pirates of the Caribbean and what he's talking about it being like where you go through this bayou and then you go down a waterfall and you see all these skeletons, then you go down a second waterfall and you're, you know, in this old Caribbean. Yeah. And then the only way to get out of that is to go back up the waterfall. You know, that's kind of what he talks about. Like, I don't know, that's just something about like knowing that Walt Disney participated in the making of that. And at the same time, it just makes a lot more sense in the fact that you go from the present day downward into this cave.
Right.
And then you go even further down and you end up like in an older time. It's like time travel makes sense somehow in that. I don't know.
Yeah. And basically, if you only know the Florida version, you know the edited down version is basically what it is.
Right.
So yeah, I would say Disneyland for Pirates too. And Angie, hopefully you get to go on.
Yeah, that's the plan for next.
It should be open in August.
Yeah,
as long as there's no emergency refurbishments or something.
As long as no one sticks their hand outside of the boat.
Right.
Their fingers off.
Oh. I guess people just ignore those signs for a reason. Whatever. Speaking of putting your hands in water, this one might be a little harder. Splash Mountain.
You know, I will go with the Walt Disney World version of this one.
Yeah, I think I will too.
So will I. Because it's a longer ride.
Yeah.
It's not... It seems like Disneyland has longer waits because of the way they fill the logs. Where it's only like 6 people to a log, where Disney World can fit in like 12.
Yeah, and when we went on, I was like, where's my seatbelt?
Oh, yeah, that too, yeah.
Yeah, she'd never been she'd never been to Disneyland till last year, and she freaked out because she's like, I'm going to go down a hill and there's no seatbelt. I'm like, yeah, just figure it out. Hold on.
Yeah, and then the next day we went on Heimlich's choo-choo train and we had to put on a seatbelt.
Oh, logic, you know. Yeah, but I think the animatronics look better in Disney World, and that could possibly be because they were a couple years later building it there. Yeah. So that in that case, they made it better, building it a few years later, unlike Pirates did.
Totally, yeah.
So yeah, I would say Disney World for that one too. This one's kind of tough, and you might have to base it more on the building itself because the ride is sort of the same, but not because it's been updated in Florida. The Haunted Mansion.
I like different aspects of both. I'm gonna have to say Disneyland because of you get to walk through the hallway with the portraits, and because of the way the building looks on the outside.
I would also go even prior to Hatbox Ghost.
Yeah, that made up my mind for me.
I would say Disneyland again because of the facade on the outside. I love. If you were to tell me which would you want to pick, really, I think this comes down to, for me, Liberty Square or New Orleans Square.
Oh yeah, so to me, there's no competition
New Orleans
there.
Square is so wonderful to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Liberty Square has the Columbia Harbor House, and they have such good food there.
They do, yeah. They can call it. They could throw it somewhere else. I call it something different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with Disneyland on that one as well. The Jungle Cruise.
I go with Disneyland.
I don't know. We only did it once when we were in Disneyland, so I only got it at night.
And it's tough. With Disneyland, it's really tough to see at night. I tried to videotape it, and the lantern would hit after we pass it. I'm like, wait.
Here's what I say about Disneyland, and really about any cast member in general. I'm pointing my finger, even though you can't see me right now.
Yeah.
He's making a point.
I'm making a point. Disneyland, especially Jungle Cruise skippers, because it's Hollywood or near Hollywood, and people who go out to California are trying to be these big stars. I feel like the skippers at Disneyland put forth the extra effort.
They might think an agent's on the boat.
Yeah,
exactly.
They really make you have a good time. They want to tell the jokes they want to tell. I mean, you basically get a stand-up comedian anytime you're on the Jungle Cruise at Disneyland, and I feel like you get kind of the same spiel anytime you're at Walt Disney World.
I've had a few good ones at Disney World. But yeah, I know what you're saying. I was on the Jingle Cruise back in November, and that guy did not want to be there. It was bad. I'm like, oh, this is not good. But the time before at Disney World, I had someone who was really good. So it really just depends on who you get for that.
It really does.
In Disneyland, I really like the monkeys that are throwing dynamite or whatever they're doing.
Oh yeah.
You can tell it's updated, and the piranhas.
Oh yeah, the piranhas are fun because they're so cheesy.
Yeah,
that they call to it, and they make sure that it's cheesy.
They're on a stick. Right. You can see the stick with all of them on it. It's oh yeah, yeah.
I like Disneyland's version of that better.
Yeah, they have the temple in Disney World. That's the one thing that they have that they don't, that you go through.
Yeah,
but and I've been on Disney World versions much more than Disneyland, so I think that might be some reason why I say Disneyland sometimes too, because it's a breath of fresh air. But this one is an interesting pick. The Tower of Terror.
What do you think?
Oh man, I think I'm gonna have to say Disney World because of the queue.
Really? I say Disney World because I like moving forward in that area where it's you basically get to move through the opening of the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's cool.
Yeah, when I went to Disneyland for the first time and rode that, I was familiar with the Disney World version. So I'm just sitting there and I'm like, okay, we're going to go into the dimension now. And they're like, in the Tower of Terror. I'm like, wait, what? And then it scared the crap out of me because I did not expect it to do that fast.
You told me that. And I remembered that you told me that. And I was like, when we were going on it, I was like, I just have to remember. Wes said it drops.
Really? That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the Florida version better too with that one. I think that's another California got the edited version.
Yeah, well,
to get more elevators going up and down, because I think they have 3 shafts that go up and down. Yeah.
Well, and I feel like it fits so well in the Hollywood studios when you get that 1940s kind of feel, especially before California Adventure got the updates that it got a couple of years ago. I mean, it was just kind of like, why is this here?
Yeah, you round that corner and you're like, whoa, there's a humongous building here.
Yeah, now with like Buena Vista Street, it makes a little bit more sense. but I still feel like when you walk down Hollywood Boulevard and you take that turn onto Sunset, and you're like, oh, cool. Well, this is like the Brown Derby is over there. And there's all these shops that are reminiscent of the 1930s and 40s Hollywood. And you look down the street and here's this old Hollywood hotel. It just fits so perfectly in the Hollywood Studios Park that it's probably the best ambiance that park will ever have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then the ride itself, like I said, being able to move forward in that space and go through the theme to the Twilight Zone is awesome.
Yeah.
When those doors open.
Yeah. But at Disneyland it's cool too because you get to see like the Matterhorn and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, Florida's definitely better. And the one final one, I don't know if you guys got on this one or not last time, would be It's a Small World.
We did not go on It's a Small World at Disneyland. It was also closed.
Yeah,
However,
I had a feeling it was.
Angie's not been on the Disneyland, so she can't speak to this one.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, It's a Small World at Disneyland, far superior.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
I would like it better. Like, I can say it now.
You'll-
He's not writing it.
You'll see it in August. It'll be open and you'll love it.
It's the fact that they've updated it with all the characters, so there are little Easter eggs that you can find in the attraction. But for me, it's symbolic of
World's Fair.
Yeah, World's Fair. I would say, how do I say it? Like,
And
it's Rolly Crump's design. That facade is so like. It's breathtaking in how big that facade is.
it is. Yeah, if you're used to the Florida version, then you see that, you're like, whoa.
Yeah, and
This is awesome.
they try and fit that facade like inside.
It doesn't look as good.
No, it doesn't. And I just feel like being able to kind of take that ride initially, like the first, 2 minutes or so of it are outdoors and you go by all the topiaries.
Yeah.
There's just something like a little extra about that you get that you don't get at the Disney World version.
The clock parade where all the dolls come out and go around the
Yeah.
Yeah. This was the first time I was on it in Disneyland last month, and I was just like I tolerate the one in Florida. Like I'll go on it once a vacation, and that's usually it, unless like someone really wants to go on again. But this one I actually rode 3 times during the vacation.
Really good. I mean, it is. I think it is a bit longer than the Florida version. And I know that people are like, oh, but it's the song. But I think you can tune out the song a lot of the times because there's so much to look at.
Yeah, in Florida, it kind of bothers me when you're stuck at the very end for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, when all the boats are just kind of like bumping into each other a little bit.
That's when it affects me the most. And I'm like, oh, come on already. But I didn't get stopped once. If you get stopped, it's outside. So you don't have to hear the song. But the song didn't bother me at all in Disneyland.
I feel like in general, Disneyland's Fantasyland is far superior, even with the new Fantasyland. I feel like Disneyland's quaint European village look is
much more like immersive than this like random like big huge long building with all these different
like Peter Pan, and then right next to it Small World, and
like with the circus tent look to it.
It looks like a sort of like an old Midway carnival, really.
And I prefer the Disneyland Mad Tea Party because you're under the tree and you get the lanterns and it's outside. It's just so nice. And then like right across from there is Storybook Land Canal Boats, which is something that you don't get at Walt Disney World. And I love that attraction so much. It's been one of my favorites since I was a kid.
It is a really nice attraction, yeah. And Angie, you'll get to see Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
I absolutely love that. So, well, that wraps up for this show, for this week. Thanks again to Josh and Angie for stopping by.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Yes,
it was fun.
It was definitely an interesting hearing all about your vacation and the wedding and all that. And congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So why don't you tell everybody where they can find you on the interwebs?
You can pretty much find us, our main websites, I think, like you'd alluded to before,
Is modernmouseradio.com.
and modernmouseboutique.com. So if you're looking for some cool mouse ears to wear to the parks, modernmouseboutique.com is your place to go. modernmouseradio.com, you can find our podcast as well as articles, videos, things like that you don't have to pay for. You can just enjoy.
Don't forget to subscribe to the show, youtube.com/HitchHostShow. You can like the show on Facebook, facebook.com/HitchHostShow. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter @HitchHostShow. Until next time, don't forget to...
Hurry back, hurry back.
For the next episode, see ya.